I'm a naturopath. I'm Sue Lin. I'm also the author of The Wildcraft Guide and a firm believer in foraging, wildcrafting, and basically cultivating a path back to natural wellness. So in this video, short and sweet, I'm going to talk to you about the concept of rewilding through wildcrafting. Have you ever found yourself at the grocery store wishing that literally everything didn't come wrapped in plastic, including the organic vegetables? And are you having trouble deciding, whether you go with a non-stick fry pan or whether perhaps you don't buy non-stick at all? I hear you. I've been in the situation wondering, what's actually really bad for me, because I hear so many things, aluminium, stainless steel, copper, etc. If you're a parent, have you found yourself worrying about what's really in those squishy plastic toys that our kids are obsessed with? Or have you seen images of ocean floors and beaches covered in plastic bottles, and it's got you ruminating about what sort of world, what sort of health span are we curating for the next generations of humans and for the planet? So if you've wondered about all of these things, you're not alone. Plastics are everywhere. So I wanted to give you a little bit of information about the types of chemicals that you really want to try to avoid. These are toxic chemicals that can disrupt all aspects of our health, and they impact our health span, but they particularly disrupt our endocrine system, which is our hormone system. I want to tell you about where these hormones are found and give you 5 steps so that you can start living more purely and more in harmony with nature than you are at the moment, perhaps. And most importantly, I want to share with you about what rewilding is and what the benefits are. So let's go. So just how bad is it? Let's just get a little bit of context around why we need to be rewilding. Imagine that you're having lunch with 9 of your friends. So there's 10 of you sitting at the table. Out of all of you, the 10 of you, 9 will most likely have detectable levels of toxic chemicals in their bodies. It's a fact of life now that we live in a world where it is near impossible to avoid exposing ourselves by eating, by inhaling, by touching, by applying to our skin, to avoid being exposed to these chemicals that are most certainly affecting our health and also affecting the health of the next generations through us and directly as well. Toxic chemicals, they enter our body through food, through agricultural pesticides, through herbicides as well. They most certainly enter our body through cosmetics, and for a long time, cosmetics weren't well regulated. So we have a lot of stuff coming onto our skin that goes directly into our bodies. And food packaging, also we get these chemicals through food packaging, and they all have a profound effect on our hormone health and our reproductive capacity. And a lot of research is focused on that, what's the impact on fertility. What are these chemicals, you're wondering? They're chemicals used in the manufacture of things that we use every day. So it could be flame retardants on clothing and furniture. It could be utensils that we use to eat with, or bottles that we drink out of. The chemicals can leach out of these goods as they age and also with heat, and they end up contaminating our world and our bodies. Around 1,000 chemicals with the propensity to interfere with our hormones or affect the function of our hormone systems have been identified. And they're called EDCs for short, which stands for endocrine disrupting chemicals. According to the 1996 Weybridge report, an endocrine disruptor is an exogenous substance so exogenous meaning out, external from the body, right? We don't produce it. An exogenous substance that causes adverse health effects in an intact organism, such as a human body, and or its progeny, consequent to changes in endocrine function. So in other words, some chemicals, they're going to disrupt our hormones. We don't make them ourselves, so our bodies don't recognize them, and they end up causing us a whole heap of problems as a result of affecting our hormones. There's also food contact chemicals, FCCs for short. these are the ones that come in food packaging, food processing, food bags, so we're getting these through their direct contact with our food. There was a study published last year in 2024 in the Journal of Exposure Science and Environmental Epidemiology. It revealed that 25% of the various FCCs, or food contact chemicals, that have been identified were present in human bodies. So a quarter of them are being detected in our bodies. So the chemicals are things like bisphenol A, BPA. Very likely that you've heard about this in the context of things being BPA free. And several of its byproduct chemicals, as well as many others, are implicated directly in endocrine disruption and interfering with the way that our hormones work and contributing to conditions like, say, early onset menopause or early puberty, obesity, and two of the most common conditions that are associated with these chemicals, fibroids and polycystic ovarian syndrome in women.